It's Anita of thatanitalive.com, and I'm coming to you because I have coined the phrase living unashamed of your secret story. And a lot of folks have asked me exactly what does that mean? Living unashamed of your secret story. So I just wanted to start doing some periscopes to break that down for people so that they know what it means, one, to live unashamed, and two, to live unashamed of their very own secret story. Living unashamed of your secret story is simply not allowing barriers and blocks to keep you from going after the goals, the dreams that you've set in your life. Not allowing other people to use your insecurities, imperfections, your associations as their ammunition to keep you bound or to keep you under their control or to keep you, again, from going after what your goals and your dreams are. Because there's nothing more important than living life happy. Right. There's nothing more important than living life happy because we only get one shot at this. I pray we only get one shot at this. And this one shot at life, you have to make it the very best of what you can make it. So there's no point in holding on to those goals and those dreams in your heart or letting what other people may ask you, what other people may say about you, what other people may spread about you, stop you from going after your ultimate dreams, the big life that you want to live. For instance, one of my secret stories is a lot of people don't know my father was an alcoholic. My mother basically lived in denial. You have no idea how even as a child, people tried to make that my problem. People tried to make me responsible for his getting better or him choosing whether or not he went into treatment. Well, you have to help your daddy. No, he has to figure this out for himself. He was grown. I wasn't. I was a child. So how could they take that and try and place it upon me to make it a responsibility? Living unashamed of your secret story. So think about that for a second and what your secret story may be, whether it was you grew up in the projects, whether it was you were a teen mother. That has no barrier on where you are right now and where you can go in your future. I'm going to talk about being unashamed. Let's talk about the challenges to living unashamed. Let's talk about the benefits to living unashamed. And then I'm going to drop 3 techniques that I'll probably go into in more detail in later periscopes. But for right now, let's just get a clean foundation as to what it is to live unashamed, what are the benefits, what are the challenges, and what are the techniques. So I'm going to start with challenges. The challenges to living unashamed is it opens up your vulnerability, and people don't like feeling vulnerable. It opens up your vulnerability. I have a lot of secrets and not so secret stories. Oh, thank you. Great word. We all have them. And that's just it. We all, even the people that try to use them to keep you bound, they have them. Everybody has a secret story. One of the things that I like to look upon when people try to use my imperfections or they try to use certain relatives of mine for a barrier to say, oh, well, you came from this particular type of household or you came from this particular type of parenting, so you can't do it. No, that's not correct. Merely because people that I associate with or mistakes that I've made in my past are connected to me, that doesn't keep me bound now. Neither does it keep you bound. So whatever that secret is, Duchess, and whatever that secret story is, wipe it away from your memory. Just put it behind you, associate it with the date that it happened, concentrate on your dreams that you have in front of you, and keep moving forward. That's what's going to get you the success that you're looking for, and that's what's going to get you to the goals that you want to accomplish. Like I said, feeling that vulnerability, it makes us uncomfortable, but in your uncomfortableness is your success. Everybody says it. I'm sure you've heard it. You are blessed outside of your comfort zone, not inside your comfort zone. Every step that you take, 1, it builds your faith, but 2, it moves you closer and closer to the success you really and truly want to have. Hey, John, it builds you closer and closer to the success you want to have and the goals you want to obtain. People look at cars, they look at houses, they look at all of these external factors, and they call that success. If that's what you label success, and these are the things that you want to obtain with the money that you get, That's wonderful. But to get there, you're going to have to go through these phases of feeling uncomfortable and being vulnerable. But when you live unashamed of your secret story, it disarms that vulnerability. Because it doesn't matter where you are when somebody brings it up. It doesn't matter where you are when somebody asks a question. You could be on stage doing a public speech before 5,000 people and somebody could ask you that question. Living unashamed of your secret story, you step forward in your self-confidence and in your faith. You respond, you answer the question, and you keep going. Living unashamed of your secret story. It will not keep you bound, and you will keep moving. You will keep progressing in your life. Being vulnerable, it lowers the walls that we have created for ourselves. A lot of people that have what they see as a secret story, they built this invisible wall around themselves that they use for protection. And anytime somebody pushes it, anytime somebody bumps up against it, anytime, for instance, in a question or in a comment, if somebody says something, they immediately become defensive. For instance, I have a coworker whom had asked me a number of personal questions. And she's also a person in the office that talks about her personal business, as far as she and her husband being in counseling, one of her children being suspended from school, another one having D's in history. I mean, real information that you would probably keep, inside the house. Mama used to say, what happens in this house stays in this house. She isn't that type of person. One day I asked her the question about her ethnicity. And immediately she said, well, what difference does it make? Okay, that's something that she has behind an imaginary wall that evidently people have used to hold her back or to make her feel less than. I asked it from a place of genealogy research because I like the study of genealogy and people's histories and how families merge together. You know how you can see a picture of a family and there may be 10 children in the family? And you can see the blending of the genes and how some look more like the mother and others look more like the father. I like going through pictures and studying families and looking at things like that. Once I explained that to her, she broke that down to me. I was right that there happened to be some Native American in her family history. I've worked with Native Americans for about 2 years out in Cherokee, North Carolina. And I really enjoyed it. So now when I see Native American features, I can identify them fairly quickly. But as I mentioned, when I first asked that question, she became very defensive. Though she had divulged a lot of other personal things, for some reason, this one particular thing made her walls go up and she became very defensive. That is a secret story that she needs to live in the vulnerability of and learn to live unashamed of it. There was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing wrong with any of the associations or the people that she was attached to, her family members. There was nothing negative in it at all. So it's obvious that it's just what people have used against her through the years to try and, I guess, not give her positions, maybe the bullies on the playground. Some may have said she wasn't dark enough. Others may have said she wasn't light enough. Whatever it was, as an adult, it's time for her to step out from behind that and stop allowing people to use that against her. Because once we choose to walk in our true stories and our authentic selves, once we learn and we accept to live unashamed of our secret story, our success goes up, our happiness goes up, our self-awareness and our self-esteem and our self-confidence, all of those things soar. There's no job that you see yourself qualified for that you won't go after. There isn't a conversation that you will shrink from or not be able to have. You have no idea how much your self-confidence will soar through the roof when you choose to step forward and live unashamed of your secret story. Now, I mentioned being vulnerable as a challenge. And I mentioned success and happiness and higher self-confidence, and it'll boost your self-esteem as benefits. So now let me mention a few techniques for living unashamed of your secret story. And one of them is to raise your self-awareness. You have to become more aware of you and who you are and what your story is. Some segments, some chapters of our stories may have happened during our childhood and we've completely forgotten about them. Though we continue to react to them, we aren't aware of what's being used against us or what's triggering the defensive response. So if you take, let's say, the next 5 to 10 days, and just as you're going throughout your normal day, pay attention to what comes out of your mouth. Pay attention to when your body feels like your muscles are being fully constrained, because these are signals that you are actually going into defense mode and repelling the comment, the person, whomever it is that is triggering that response in you. But the more you become aware of yourself, your reactions, your responses, the more you become aware, the more you be able to manage it, the more you become aware of it, and you can then decide to live unashamed of it. So the first one, self-awareness. Another technique that I will give you is raising your self-esteem. Now that's a process. Yes, Duchess, working in customer service, girl, I'm sure you see it every day. I'm sure it comes at you in all types of, I'm sure it comes at you in all shapes, sizes, colors. I'm sure it comes at you live working in customer service, especially if you work in, where do you work? Is it more like a government service or community service? Is it wide open to like a store, wide open to the public where they come in? Because if you don't even have a subset of the population that you're working with, say you're working with teen moms and that's the public that comes in. Yes, doesn't it? Doesn't it teach you so much about yourself and how much you can take, how quickly you can refrain, how much patience you have? Ooh, USC, girl, down in Columbia off of 2-notch. I know exactly where you are and what you're talking about. You know what? Probably. Duchess, those probably some of my cousins coming in there show having to deal with on a regular basis. And I know firsthand how difficult, how difficult they can be. Third one, I'm gonna give you another technique for living unashamed of your secret story. The third one I'm going to talk about is self-confidence, raising your self-confidence. So you've got raising your self-awareness and becoming more aware of yourself, your reactions. You've got raising your self-esteem, which has a lot to do with your self-image and how you see yourself. A lot of people have body image issues, and where there's some part of their body that they're self-conscious about. There's some part of their body that they buy clothes to hide or shape in a certain way or shape so that it completely looks different. I was shocked by that my first time seeing clothing that can shape your body. It's true. It's true. I'm not really that exposed to social media and being out with the public and so forth. So the first time I saw it, I was really shocked by it. However, all of those things have to do with self-esteem and self-image, your body image. And we need to work towards what we want instead of looking for quick responses and quick fixes to shape our bodies. That has to do with diet, water, and exercise. It's a lot of work, but anything worth having is worth working towards and worth working for. Your self-confidence, boosting that self-confidence will work wonders for your success attainment, for the goals that you go after, for your body image issues, for how you see yourself. All of that, you have no idea how it will just cause everything positive in your life to soar. So that's living unashamed of your secret story. I hope you guys follow me here on Periscope. Follow me on Twitter. go to my website, thatanitalive.com, poke around in my website, leave me a comment on one of the blog posts that you see that you have a particular comment to, whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. And I invite you to sign up for my list. I'm going to have the next couple of days, next couple of weeks are really going to have some changes coming into my website, and I'm going to begin a countdown to Mother's Day. A lot of single moms use their kids as excuses or anchors to say, you know what, I can't do it because I have kids. I can't take classes because I have kids. I can't go out to eat because I have. All of that is an excuse. It's not even a reason. It's an excuse. So over the next couple of weeks, my blog posts are going to start a countdown to Mother's Day. And I have some interviews that I'm going to roll through. I have some interviews that I'm going to roll through that are going to speak specifically and directly to single moms. I've got a single mom that she not only quit her job with 2 small kids, but she ended up going to law school. She went to London on an internship. I mean, just marvelous things. So go to my website, get on my list. John, you're already on my list. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.